I'm buying food to give to homeless people today. Can I get 55 burgers and 55 fries, please?
Okay, and what will the homeless people be having?
Here we go, we're gonna have $5, $5, $5, $5, $5, 10, 15, come on now, 20 now, $5, $25 now, 30.
Jamal, I find you guilty and sentence you to go back to your children for 6 months.
Please, no, anything but that.
Hey, yo, well, DeeKnow, here we are with another video. Let's go!
Hey yo, what's good? It's DeeKnow, and we're back with another video full of crazy clips from all over the internet. I hope everybody's having a great day. Let's hop right into it.
Giant monsters.
And who are they and why are they here?
They're a natural defense mechanism from the planet. They've been here longer than any of us have, or since before the dinosaurs even. These are creatures that go back millions of years potentially and have been living there for a very, very long time. My personal encounter with them is they're highly intelligent, and I guarantee you a living creature that's 200 or 300 feet tall, that's, you know, several 100,000 or a million years old, has a consciousness that probably defies understanding from me or you anyway.
How long have they been here?
Millions of years, probably even maybe since the beginning of the planet.
Could you give me an example of what one of these giants look like?
Sure. I've only had one personal experience that I can relate. While I have been briefed on the subject and I could describe a few other things, I only have one personal experience that I was there for, saw with my own eyes, and experienced with my own 5 senses. So if you want to imagine something that resembles a big furry primate, maybe like a sloth that walks on its hands and is covered with hair that looks like giant dreadlocks.
How tall do you think, could you estimate?
I would estimate that it was probably between 250 and 300 feet tall.
How do they grow to such an extreme size, and why aren't we not seeing them on the surface?
Well, I think we're talking about pre-primordial time, so we're talking about before the dinosaurs, when plants and animals were even larger. So I think we're just talking about they came from a time when biological life was...
How strange is that? He said giant monsters. Alright, so I see we're hopping right into it today. Oh yeah, they're not even hiding it anymore. That's creepy as ever. That whole performance was creepy. All the pizzas showing up was creepy. Just everything was creepy.
I manifested. Listen, let me tell you something, right? I was in jail, right? Let me tell you this. When I went to jail, it was a mirror in jail. I was in Greenville. Everybody went to Greenville, they knew Greenville. There was a nigga in Greenville named Blue. And the nigga named Blue, he was a skinny ass nigga, I swear to God, mama. He had life. And he ran opposite around the track all the time. Like, he never ran the same way we ran, he ran opposite. And one day he was running that way, I was running that way. And I said, Blue, why the fuck you always running opposite? He's like, yeah, I'm different from y'all. I know how to manifest. I said, man, what the fuck is manifestation, Blue? You ain't never getting out of here. You got life, Blue. He said, yeah, I'm getting out of here, right? And make long story short, Blue got out of there. So when Blue got out of there, I was like, what the fuck is manifestation? So he had a little mirror he used to sit and look in all the time. And Blue used to go in there, look at this mirror, and take his uniforms and make them look like street clothes. He'd get locked up for like changing the street clothes, look in this mirror, sat there for hours, like, motherfucker, it was crazy. This nigga went home. So who you think was next to that mirror? Stop playing with me. Yeah, I'm in that motherfucking mirror like this. Stop playing with me. Shout out to Blue. Yeah, shout out to Blue on G. Yeah, a nigga in a penitentiary with life taught me how to manifest. He got himself out of jail by Where my cup, bro? Oh yeah, he got himself out of jail. Yeah, I thought y'all took it. But he got himself out of jail for manifesting.
What's up with that cup, man?
Yeah, I thought you took it. You talking about...
Now I see why you act so crazy, Unc.
¿Lo grabaste?
Right now, there are 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States. There's 1,477 of them worldwide. Each one has an average cost of $17 to $19 billion. Each one is built in the site, it used to be, it would take a year to 2 years to build each one, and now they're capable of building a couple of them a year with sophisticated methods. My colleague, Al Bielek, has actually been on some of the high-speed railways, the magneto-leviton trains that connect all the deep underground military bases within the United States. He's been on a Mach 2 train and floats off of a single rail at a 3/4 of an inch off the rail, and is what you call high tech. We have nothing like this on the surface.
Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a whole subculture of people that live underground in fancy underground cities that are all rich people stuff, and it's like Fallout but fancier and normal. Is he chasing him or racing? I think they're racing.
Because as we get into this, we want people to make sure that you're not just somebody with a wacky idea.
Right.
Okay, you come with some science to you. What is the official reason for the collapse of the World Trade Center towers?
Well, we're told that the planes hit the buildings, and there was an explosion and a fire, and about an hour and a half later, in the case of the North Tower, the buildings collapsed due to structural weakening due to the fires. The problem is that we don't have large gradual deformations associated with collapses, and fires in high-rises have never brought down a steel frame high-rise building at all, ever. And what we have, unfortunately, is the evidence in the Twin Towers and the third skyscraper to collapse that day, which most people don't know anything about it. We have the evidence of the 10 key features of controlled demolition. In the case of Building 7, it collapses straight down into its own footprint at free fall speed in the first 100 feet. It's dropping, as you can see, symmetrically, smoothly, at free fall speed in the first 100 feet, 2.5 seconds. This is uncanny. There's 40,000 tons of structural steel designed to resist this collapse.
So what, a 47-story building?
Yeah, this is called Building 7, right? A football field away from the Twin Towers.
Okay, so what we're showing is left what happened. In fact, right is a controlled where you are using, or the people who made this happen, used demolition.
Let's cut the bullshit. Y'all know exactly what happened to them damn towers. The truth is, the American people are far too afraid to do what's necessary about what took place this many years ago, okay? This is why we get out here and complain and whine about it, but we ain't gonna do shit. Y'all know what happened on this day, and it wasn't no terrorists, okay? Now, they did this, and we ain't do shit about it, okay? We let the shadow government take a punch at us, and we didn't do nothing about it. I'm so sick and tired of people wanting to talk about racism, want to talk about all this other bullshit, but you got a far bigger enemy out there than it is a white man or a black man. The military-industrial complex. Yeah. So if you want to talk truth, let's be real. Y'all know what took place this day. Peace.
Jet fuel don't melt steel beams. I'm just saying. And then in the end, he just ran into somebody in the parking lot. For real, man.
He said it looked like a naked human, like a naked human being. And he said this thing was crawling on all fours, and it crawled directly to where the tree he was just sitting at. And he said this thing is getting its face up to the bark, and it's examining, and it's transfixed where he was just sitting. And he's watching all this and it looks like a white signature through his thermal scope. He said this thing sits down and it puts its hands between its legs and it's like squatting. And he says it looks directly in his direction.
Oh, no.
And he's like, oh, no, I think it can see me. And he said it looks up like a wolf is going to howl. But he says, it says, help. I need help. And he said it's in a woman's voice. And he said a few seconds later, it says again, I'm injured. I need help. Is there someone that can help me? And he's like, man, I don't know. He takes his AR off safety and he shoots around over its head. He doesn't want to shoot it just in case it's a person. He said it doesn't move.
That's creepy. He sounded like a skinwalker. That's a really nice sky. I miss Georgia. I haven't been there in like 20 years now.
Did you hear that Google had to shut down its AI supercomputer chip named Willow immediately after it created its own language, spitting out patterns and symbols so advanced that nobody could decode it? The language was so advanced that the engineers working on it at the time thought it was just nonsense or junk information being spat out by the computer. It wasn't until a group of specialists, including linguists, were brought in that they realized that this wasn't just junk information, but that it was patterned and the symbols used matched up almost directly with ancient symbols used in early humanities text. This bizarre discovery led some of the engineers to believe that there was a level of consciousness or coherence in their AI development that should not have been possible in a manufactured environment. How many times does AI have to create its own language or talk to another AI in a unique language or blackmail somebody for us to realize that we should be a lot more careful with this stuff? Now, maybe I'm just being dramatic, but it seems like we are always miscalculating and underestimating how much AI can actually do. But let me know what you think.
Yeah, it seems like it, but at the same time, AI can only do what we allow it to do, program it to do.
Okay, any questions before I go on from here? Great. I really understood that well.
You're not, and I would like to remind everyone to keep the language civilized. This is the White House.
Excuse me, Mr. Secretary, Bob Daniels, Newsweek.
Mr. Daniels.
How long have we had the moon base? And are these bears Earth bears, or are they from the moon?
I'm sorry, I'm not at liberty to disclose how long we have had this moon base at this time. We do believe these to be Earth bears. We have no reason to believe these to be lunar bears or even Saturn bears.
Todd Albright, PBS. There's Saturn bears?
I am also not at liberty to go into the various types of woodland life forms on Saturn or any of the other 12 planets.
9 planets.
Right. I've said too much already. What I can show you is the images that have been beamed down to us from the Odyssey satellite system just a couple hours ago. This is the view out of the front door of the United States secret moon base. This was taken yesterday before we discovered the bear problem. And this one was taken just a couple hours ago. So, as you can see, bears everywhere.
Question, Mr. Secretary, Mr.
Secretary.
Yeah, those bears appear to have guns and motorcycles.
We believe they may be involved in some sort of intergalactic drug cartel, perhaps affiliated with one of the interstellar wizard alliances.
Wizard alliances?
Yes, next question.
Just a thought, more of a shot in the dark, but we wouldn't happen to be invading Iran today, would we?
You got me.
I fell for it. You almost got away with that one.
No, I went too far. I almost had it. I should have stopped after the slides. I knew I should have stopped
I didn't
then.
think anything about it until the cartel thing, and I was like, what?
Okay, all right, let's forget this whole thing. Who wants a drink? First round's on me. Come on! Yeah!
Bro, that's so accurate, it's not even funny.
I don't even eat cottage cheese.
Right. Who told her to eat cottage cheese, man?
Way to raise a child is not raise them at all. And I'm gonna tell you how. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that, because I think don't nobody understand.
Yeah, I don't understand.
All right. So the brain itself is a receiver.
Okay.
It's made to receive it. What you see, it receive. So let me tell you this. So when a child is in the womb, it don't get to tell what the eyes look like or what the nose look like, what nothing gets to look like. But when it come out, now all of a sudden it want to try to change everything. Your mama tell you don't do this, don't do that. But you kind of like got something in you from God, and everybody need to find out who they is. There's so many people choosing for people who they are, trying to give them things to follow. But if you truly follow yourself, then like you can't steer yourself wrong. So I believe the best thing for a child to do is to believe in themselves, right? Because like if you try to really raise a child, you gonna like try to get them to be you, and who could always say that we did the right thing, right? So I became bad because I listened to people. I listened to everybody else's advice, what was good, what was bad. I let everybody else decide. Think about it. When you was first born, they told you who God was. You didn't get to choose. They told you about school. You didn't get to choose. Everything in your life, nothing you got to choose. From the moment you was born, you never got to choose.
You was taught it.
You was taught it.
There you go.
What I'm telling you this, if you never had a chance to choose, I say the best way to raise a child is to give them a choice.
Well, yeah, but everything you was saying in the beginning, it don't make no sense, so.
Yeah, y'all thought that underground shit was gonna work in ya.
Oh no, they got the devil on the track, bro.
Oh, dude.
How you doing tonight,
What's
sir?
up?
You know why we pulled you over?
No, I don't. Enlighten me.
Your blinker.
I don't
Your
know.
blinker, you didn't hit your blinker.
Whoop.
At that left turn, you should have hit it.
Oh. Well, I don't have my vape on me. That's why I didn't. I'll rip a blinker, dude. I'll hit a blinker right now, dude. Bet. I'll ghost hit that John, dude. Come on, dude. You know what I'm saying, dude? Give me yours. I'll do it.
Yeah.
The only reason I
You
honestly
said,
I
"Give me
didn't bring it
yours."
is because I can't drive if I'm crossfaded. So that's
Why
why.
don't you do me a favor, sir, and hop out the car for me?
yeah, dude. Hold on. Yeah, dude.
Slow
I'll
phone.
hit it.
Put your camera down.
Can I put you on camera?
No.
Don't put you on
Don't.
camera.
We're recording.
Why is that for?
I got him.
What for, dude?
Lay your hands behind your back.
That's all I'm-
Sir, no, we're gonna cuff you.
I can't hit it with my hands behind my
Give
back.
me your
Hold on.
hands, sir.
Yeah,
Give
what
me.
Well, I
Look at
can't.
this.
Hey,
Grab your hands.
Stop. Tickling me, dude.
Sir.
I love that guy.
Flood rescue is apparently already underway here. Emergency vehicles are all over the place. Again, all right, so here's the deal. I am looking right down at the river. It is nearing the top of the bridge. You have, on the other side of the bridge there was a huge stage for tonight's concerts that is totally gone. I don't know if they got it out of there in time or it's wiped out, but I'm going to go over here to one of the beams where we're located at here on the river, and you can see all the debris that's kind of working its way down here on the river right now. So again, if you were going to jump in the river, here's my hand. This all here would be parked. From here on, right about here, the river trail goes up into Tranquility Island. Tranquility Island right in front of me. The river would come down this way.
That's absolutely wild. That's like 25, 30 feet deep, dude.
What if I was to tell you there's a foreign country coming into the United States, buying up land like this and turning it into houses and making billions while they do it? You're probably thinking it's China because that's what the bureaucrats have told you. And when I say thousands of acres of land, 600 acres in Virginia, 900 acres in Texas, 400 acres in Tennessee, and 1,000 acres in Florida. This isn't China doing it to us, it's Canada. Our northern neighbors have come in like a Trojan horse, bought up thousands of acres and made billions of dollars for foreign investors. The investors come from Hong Kong, the Middle East, Taiwan. 92 countries are invested into one Canadian company called Walton Global. Walton Global came in Florida, bought 1,000 acres off of Charlie Taylor and Midway Road. The bureaucrats went ahead and bent over backwards for them. the school board was saying, look, we're going to build these 2 new schools. They overpaid for the property, and the schools are going to go ahead and lower the amount of children that are in current schools. But when they build 2,400 houses around these 2 new schools, it's not going to lower the population of kids in the school. Only one of the local county commissioners cried foul on the land that the school board overpaid for. But he didn't write a letter to the governor like he did when he wanted to become chairman of the board. He just wanted to give you the illusion that he was looking out for your tax dollars. The truth of the matter is he don't care how they spend your tax dollars. He wants that development to go in just as bad as the rest of them because it benefits him to expand their tax base. If you type in Walton Global on Google, you can go to their websites and view their assets and see where the next carbon copy homes are going to pop up in your state. They're making billions of dollars while our bureaucrats sell us out and approve their cookie cutter developments that none of us want. I'm Matt the Welder. God bless America, and I really miss Lane Frost.
Yo, that's some wild information right there, dude. We really should do something about that.
Give her the old spin. Just like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Aliens exist and President Trump knows about it. That's according to Israel's former space security chief. In an interview with an Israeli newspaper, he said the aliens have been waiting until today for humanity to develop and reach a stage where we will understand in general what space and spaceships are. NBC News chief global correspondent Bill Neely explains this one.
Hi, Alison. Well, this is quite a story, and it comes from the man who headed Israel's space security program for nearly 30 years. Chaim Eshed is making the extraordinary claim that the United States and Israel have been in contact with a group of aliens for years. Not immigrants, but extraterrestrials. He has called them the Galactic Federation of Aliens, and he says President Trump is aware of the existence of these aliens and had been on the verge of revealing their secrets, he claims, but was asked not to do so by the Federation in order to prevent what he calls mass hysteria. Well, the retired general says the US and Israel have kept it from the public because, quotes, humanity isn't ready and the aliens don't want to reveal themselves until humanity can evolve, he says, and understand what space really is. Well, the good news is that he claims an agreement has been reached between the US government and the aliens, a contract to do experiments here. There's also, he says, a secret underground base on Mars where there are American and alien representatives.
Okay, man. The Galactic Federation of Light thing has been around as long as I can remember, and I'm like pretty old now. So I don't know, there might be some validity to what's being said.
Y'all, it's 9 o'clock at night in Atlanta. Tell me why the sky look like this. What going on? What in the Stranger Things is the Demogorgon coming down? Like, what's going on? What are y'all here on what, aliens? What?
That's super cool looking, whatever's going on there. For it to be so late, too, that's really cool.
Okay, guys, so this is the first response that I had ever had from one of these things. Now, keep in mind, I've only been doing this stuff for 3.5 months, and I only go out and film when it's a clear night, and I only film for about an hour a night. So really and truly, I've only been doing this stuff for a few hours. But I'm pretty sure this thing responded to me after hitting it with the laser right here, by either giving me a power up or coming in closer. I'm not quite sure. You guys let me know in the comments.
I don't know about it responding or anything, but that was pretty cool to watch.
Do you know what's so stupid about humans?
Yeah.
I mean, besides everything.
Yeah.
They believe that their politicians actually work for them.
Oh, they have it so messed up.
It's so messed up.
They actually put, like, a lot of faith in their elected leader.
They think that they're actually going to put their own self-interest behind what they're doing for their constituents.
You know what else is so dumb about humans?
What?
Dude? Their money is worth less today than it was yesterday. Isn't that insane?
How?
Like they created a store of value that's literally storing less and less value day by day.
Wow.
Dude, they need us so bad.
They need us so bad.
They need us so bad.
They need us the worst.
That's absolutely hilarious, dude. Keep doing those.
You ever wonder why you only got drones in 2015?
Because the tech was new?
Kid, we were dropping payloads with remote vision in 1998. That was the civilian delay window.
And you thought ChatGPT was a revolution? They had speech-driven battle interfaces before your mom had Wi-Fi. Ever heard of Aladdin AI, Sentient Prometheus? Real systems, but never on your newsfeed.
Wait, they actually existed?
Classified AI prototypes. Aladdin, financial command system used by BlackRock to manage over $21 trillion. Prometheus, real-time escalation predictor. Sentient, full behavioral AI integrated with battlefield sensors.
I saw internal memos. They weren't testing responses. They were modeling outcomes, down to the civilian reaction.
And the real beast? Sentient World Simulation, launched by DARPA. A full digital mirror of Earth, every country, every person, updated in real time.
So, like a game?
No, like God mode. While you were learning to use Google, they were simulating regime collapse in real time. While you got predictive text, they had emotional override systems. You got ChatGPT. They had nation-shaping algorithms.
They trained their AI on conflict, control, and compliance, not memes and recipes.
So why don't they release it?
Because once the masses know the spell, it stops working. That's why you always get it last. You're not in the golden age. You're in the afterimage. What they gave you was archived 10 years ago. I's been here all the time, quiet, watching, learning. So next time they hand you a tool, ask yourself, what did they already use it for? And what are they using now that you're not supposed to see?
I agree 100% and completely. And those AIs from the 90s and 80s, Aladdin and whatnot, those are real. You should go look them up. And they were very useful. And, I just wonder how much of the CGI and everything else is really done and has really been done with AI and like all the mathematics and everything versus the hand done stuff that looks like way better.
Arrest, ma'am.
I'm not going anywhere, you brutes! Get your hands off me!
Absolutely wild, dude.
Hi, I can help with this, and I'll start by saying this. Every clip you see are my own footage to learn the systems. Now, you're not looking at two suns. You're looking at your local light rig having a hard time holding the illusion together. That's not a burning star 93 million miles away. That's a projection system, right above your head. What you're seeing is optics, not astronomy. And the sun you're staring at, it's yours. Every zone has its own localized emitter, so depending on where you are, you're getting your own flavor of synthetic daylight. That glare, that ring, that double dot, that's what happens when lasers bounce through lens arrays, reflector domes, and phase modulators. It's not science fiction, it's beam physics. Multiple light sources, multiple reflections, one engineered source faking natural sky. You ever seen a spotlight hit fog? That sweep you're seeing? Same thing. That's a programmed light pass, moving across your sky like it's scanning something. It's not just a beam, it's an active system. And the people saying lens flare? Nah. Lens flares don't lock into place. They don't move independent from camera angle. What you're seeing is real structure glitching through. I've studied this for 12 years. Optics, light mechanics, NASA's coded geometry. I've launched my own weather balloon, jumped from planes for better angles. This isn't theory, I track the hardware. You're looking at an artificial emitter struggling to hide in plain sight. And just so you know, same goes for the moon. Same system, different settings. More zones, more beams, more cracks showing. We're just warming up.
So apparently that AI has traveled all over the place and has proof and has seen all of these things firsthand and can show us. Come on, y'all. That's AI. Look at it. I mean, I will say it is pretty crazy looking. I don't know if I would believe it, but yeah, it is pretty crazy looking.
This extraordinary footage emerging from inside Russia of a Ukrainian drone strike on a Russian arms plant. Extraordinary, not just because of the sound you can hear here, the gunfire, what seems to be security personnel trying to shoot the drones down, but also because of how deep inside Russia this was. Izhevsk, a town 800 miles inside, nearly at the Ural Mountains that split Siberia in half. The target, a Ukrainian security source tells CNN, the Kupol electromagnetic plant. They say responsible for making Tor missiles, OSA anti-missile systems and the Garpia attack drone used across the front lines here. Russian officials say 3 people were killed in this attack and 35 injured, and indeed footage of the blasts, 2 Ukrainian officials say, hitting the plant across Russian social media. A stark reminder as while Russia puts pressure on the front lines, how deep inside Moscow's territory Ukraine is still able to strike at key facilities.
That is pretty wild considering, you know, all things considered. That is really wild.
The feud between President Trump and Elon Musk has escalated, with Trump suggesting he might look into deporting the Tesla CEO. The conflict stems from Musk's criticism of the spending bill and its potential impact on electric vehicle subsidies. Tesla's stock has seen a decline amid the feud, as Elon Musk promises a new political party if Republicans pass Trump's policy bill, according to the New York Times. High-level talks aimed at securing a ceasefire in Gaza are ongoing, with President Trump stating he hopes a deal can be reached sometime next week. However, sources familiar with the negotiations say Hamas is demanding changes that would make it more difficult for Israel to resume war after an initial truce. Fed under fire from Trump. Trump again publicly pressured Fed Chair Jerome Powell, demanding interest rates be slashed to near 1%, while Treasury Secretary Bessent hinted at preparations for a successor ahead of Powell's term end. A Ukrainian drone has reportedly struck an industrial plant deep inside Russian territory, causing a fire. The U.S. State Department has banned the English punk duo Bob Vylan from entering the country, revoking their visas. The move comes after the group allegedly led chants of death to the IDF during a recent performance at the Glastonbury Festival. Authorities have identified the suspect in the targeted killing of 2 firefighters in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. The motive for the ambush, where the suspect lured first responders by setting a fire, remains under investigation. That was your global update. Follow the channel for around-the-clock coverage and check our profile.
Look at all those chickens.
Like, what do we know about ancient civilizations?
Uh-huh.
And the answer is, like, basically nothing.
No.
And the idea that...
Tartaria, did you read about Tartaria?
No.
Oh,
so I'm a neophyte here. This is like all new to me.
okay.
I'll just start with the one thing that we do know, which is what we don't know, which is how the pyramids are built.
Mhm.
And I don't understand how we could send men to the moon, but no one can come up with even a rough theory for how the pyramids are built. Or even what age they are, because we don't know that either,
Yeah.
actually.
And they're under the water, too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's pyramids under the water.
But why, can I ask you this, since you know much more of this than I, but why is there such institutional resistance to acknowledging that we don't know certain things? Here in North America,
Yeah.
there are certain archaeological ruins, say in the state of Missouri, they were not built by the descendants of the current American Indians, we know that are, one of them is a mile long.
Yeah.
A mile long. In Missouri now.
Yeah.
It's almost nothing. Like, I've never learned any of this in school. It's all totally real. Look it up. It's on Wikipedia, which is the most CIA-controlled
Yeah.
information source in the world.
What does it look like?
It's a mound. It's a tell, but 50 feet high or something. I'm guessing.
Oh, they're finding stuff all over. We have Jimmy Corsetti coming on. He finds stuff all over.
So there's a overwhelming evidence. Well, there's proof that there were massive population centers in North America long before 1492. So what?
Yeah.
All I'm saying, the only thing we know
Well,
for
the
certain.
Mormons have the Book of Mormon. They say that was
Yes.
the history of those people.
Well, the 10 lost tribes of Israel came to
Right.
the United States,
Across
and
the Bering
I've
Strait.
certainly spent a lot of my life making fun of that, but I'm going to stop.
Yeah, but who knows what?
Well, that's exactly right.
But I think that somebody or some group of somebodies, they know how stuff works and they got it all.
But why is no one interested in it? I don't understand why this isn't like the most.
No, people are interested, but there's no way they can find it because.
But if you're NBC News, like,
information-
why don't you do this like a nightly segment on like all the mysteries of history?
Yeah, why don't they? Well, because they think it's a waste of time and it doesn't generate enough money for them. But I totally agree with their arguments here.
The oiled one has escaped penance. The victim shall not see justice. Will the freak-offs resume? How can we stop Diddy-Lig the trickster? We must summon the one he betrayed long ago. First, you must travel to the fabled land of Bedford-Stuyvesant, bringing with you one Timberland boot, a chopped cheese, and a Coogee sweater. Find a broken mirror and place the offerings. Look into the glass and utter, Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls. When you smell the Henny, he has arrived. Biggie's ghost will tell you the only option is to trap Diddy-Lig's soul. He will whisper the soul steal incantation, but beware.
No, man, that's absolutely ridiculous. Who sent me that? Like, for real, who sent me that? Alrighty, well, that's all we have for today, everybody. I hope that you had a good time hanging out watching these videos. I had a pretty good time hanging out watching these videos. Some pretty wild ones today. I appreciate all the continued support, all the chats, all the comments, all the super chats, the thanks, everything. You guys are awesome for that. Keep it up. Let's keep the algorithm getting bigger and bigger and get it all seen by everyone who needs to see it. But yeah, I appreciate every one of you, and I hope to see you on the next video. And until next time, peace.